You guys are going to be so jealous of me. I have New York crumb cake. I made this today in the farm stand kitchen and it's so delicious. I had some of my littles here earlier and they cleaned me out of New York crumb cake. It's delicious. So many of you have asked me about this. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to do a video because you have trouble with the crumb part. This cobblestone crumb. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Delicious. I'm having this for dinner tonight. Already got my coffee ready to go, and I'm just going to have a piece New York crumb cake. So let's do it. All right, first things first. We're going to start with 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1/2 cup of cake flour. I have found that this really helps the texture in this cake, so that's what I'm using. 1 cup of all-purpose and 1 cup or 1/2 cup of cake flour. To this, we're going to add 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Next, we're going to add 1½ teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now, this is just a little butter cake that New York crumb cake starts with. And you know, crumb cake is different than streusel. It's totally different. You don't want to confuse the two. The crumb is totally different on New York crumb cake. So all I'm doing here is just mixing this together with a spoon. My favorite thing, a bowl and a spoon. Okay, I'm just going to make a little bit of a well right here. And we're going to start adding some more things here. Here I have 1/2 cup of buttermilk. We're just going to add that to the bowl. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of melted butter. 2 tablespoons. We're going to add 1 large egg. And we're going to amp up our vanilla in this little cake. So we're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now we're just going to combine these together. Just going to do this with our spoon. Works perfectly fine to do it that way. You want to preheat your oven today to 350 degrees. We're going to be baking this little cake about 22 minutes, 22 to 25 minutes. So you need your oven on 350. Okay, there we have it. Now what we're using today is an 8. You want to use an 8x8 pan. This happens to be my Chicago metallic pan, and it happens to be an 8.5 by 8.5, which is going to be totally fine. So that's what I'm going to put mine in. So let's just go ahead and put it right in there. I did spray my pan here today. Just give it a little spray, some non-stick spray. Go ahead and get that in there. Okay, we're just going to spread this out with a little spatula. Now you're probably thinking this doesn't look like very much in this pan, but you have to remember New York crumb cake is half cake and half crumb because that's like the best part of the whole deal is the crumb. We're just gonna get this spread out and then I'm gonna show you how to make the delicious crumb. So good. And it really is easy. A lot of you have inboxed me about this and I told Dave, I was like, you know what? We're just gonna have to do a video on New York crumb cake because it's just easier for you guys if you can see it. You have great success when you can See exactly how to do it. Okay. That there is good enough. So let's set this aside and I'm going to show you how to do this crumb top. So in this bowl here, I have 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and we have 1 cup of a light brown sugar and 1.5 teaspoons of a good ground cinnamon. So we're going to go ahead and just combine those together. Just kind of use the back of your spoon and just get them mixed together there. Boy, does that smell good. Good cinnamon in there. Okay, now what I have here. This is 2 sticks of melted butter, and you can melt it in the microwave. That's perfectly fine, but I want you to cool it a little bit so it's not hot. So then we're just gonna start drizzling in here. Then I'm gonna do a little mixing. I don't want to throw it all in there at once. Okay. Okay, let's just put a little more. And this is going to make your big cobblestone crumb that goes on this cake here. Okay, I'm going to finish up with it now. I'm going to put this all in here. Give it one final mix. And then just get it all incorporated. Okay, now that's exactly what you want right there. Now let me bring this back over to you. Okay, so now when we pick this up, I'm gonna let Dave get that so you can see it. When you pick this up in this bowl, I want you to squeeze it. Just give it a squeeze with your hand and then just start dropping it off, like pinching it with your fingers, and just drop it off in big cobblestones. So you kind of want to squeeze it so it looks like that. And then just keep pinching it with your other hand here in big cobblestones. Then those will stay together for you when you bake it, and that's how you get that big cobblestone effect on there. And all those pieces will bake up, and they're going to stay like this. They're not going to bake out, you know, so they would look like a streusel. This is going to stay cobblestoney. And this is how much you use. You want a really good layer of this on your cake here. Got just a little bit left here. Now let me tell you this. If you wanted to make this in a 9x13 pan, you could just double this recipe. And you could make a bigger one. But I kind of like it just in this small little pan. So there you go. That's what you do. You just get it out even there. And then you're going to put this in the 350 oven. I bake it right about 22 to 24 minutes. You could probably even go up to 25, and it's going to be perfect. You just bring it out of the oven, let it cool, completely cool, and then dust it with your powdered sugar, which you can see here on these. I've got the powdered sugar on there. But it's a great little coffee cake, and I think that's really going to help you guys to make your cobblestone coffee cake. And of course I have to try a little bite. Here we go. Oh, delicious. Dave, wait till you have a piece of this.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Oh, it's so good. Cobblestone, New York cobblestone cake.